Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Moments. I'm your host, Elena. Have you ever felt stuck in your English learning? Like, you know all the grammar rules and vocabulary, but your conversations still don't sound natural? Do you wish you could close that gap between the English in your head and the fluent, confident English you want to speak? That's exactly what we're going to tackle today. This isn't just another vocabulary lesson. It's a practical fluency workshop designed to upgrade the way you speak. We'll move beyond basic words and choppy sentences to unlock the rhythm and expressions that make your English sound sophisticated and effortless. By the end of this session, you'll have the tools to express yourself with more precision and confidence. If you're ready to transform your speaking, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Now, let's get comfortable and begin our journey to advanced English fluency. Let's get started with a simple yet powerful change. To sound more advanced, it's not just about the words you choose, but the intensity and precision they carry. For instance, instead of saying, "The movie was very good," an advanced speaker might say, "The film was absolutely exceptional." Can you feel how that choice of vocabulary elevates the entire sentence? Let's try saying it together slowly. The film was absolutely exceptional. Excellent. Now let's place it into a more realistic context. Imagine you've just walked out of the cinema and a friend asks for your opinion. Instead of a simple, "It was good," you could say, "Honestly, the film was absolutely exceptional." This small change makes your English sound more authentic, expressive, and truly advanced. Let's practice that one more time together. Repeat after me. Honestly, the film was absolutely exceptional. Now pause for a moment. Try saying it again, but this time with your own genuine feeling, as if you're really recommending it to a friend. This is how you start building true fluency, by connecting words to real emotions and contexts. Another key to sounding more advanced is linking your thoughts together seamlessly. Instead of using a series of short, choppy sentences like, "I have a project," "I need to research," "I will write a report," you can connect these ideas smoothly. An advanced speaker might say, "For my project, I'll start by doing some thorough research before moving on to writing the final report." Can you hear how that flows much more naturally? This is how fluent speakers build longer, more sophisticated sentences that convey confidence. Let's practice. Repeat after me. For my project, I'll start by doing some thorough research before moving on to writing the final report. Let's try it again, but this time, imagine you're explaining your work plan to a colleague. Use your own intonation. Perhaps you feel determined or maybe a little stressed. The key is to practice with intention, not just repeating the words. Now let's tackle another common situation. Instead of saying, "I don't know," which can sound a bit blunt, advanced speakers use phrases that are more thoughtful, like, "That's a good question. I'll have to find that out." Or, "I'm not the best person to answer that." These phrases project confidence and politeness, even when you don't have the immediate answer. Let's say them together. "That's a good question. I'll have to find that out." And again, "I'm not the best person to answer that." These expressions not only boost your fluency, but also make you sound more considerate and professional, which is vital in real life conversations. Here's a quick exercise for you. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to respond out loud using one of these advanced phrases. Ready? When was the telephone invented? Did you answer with, "That's a good question. I'll have to find that out"? Fantastic. This is exactly how you practice sounding more sophisticated, even in simple exchanges. The journey to advanced fluency isn't about memorizing complex grammar. It's about internalizing the natural flow of the language, adopting richer expressions, and building the confidence to use them spontaneously. Let's move on to expanding your vocabulary. So many learners find themselves stuck using the same basic words like big, small, happy, or sad. To reach an advanced level, you need to replace these with more precise and powerful alternatives. For example, instead of big, you could say enormous, immense, vast, or colossal, depending on what you're describing. Instead of happy, you could use thrilled, ecstatic, delighted, or overjoyed. Each of these words creates a more vivid mental image, and that is the power of a strong vocabulary. Let's practice with a few sentences. Repeat after me. They live in an enormous house. And now this one. I was ecstatic when I heard the news. Great. Now it's your turn. Try to create your own sentence using vast or delighted. Say it out loud right now. The more you do this, the more naturally this advanced vocabulary will become a part of your daily speech. Let's also talk about expressing your preferences with more nuance. Instead of always saying, "I like it," you can try, "I'm quite keen on it," or "I'm really into it," or perhaps, "It really appeals to me." Each of these phrases gives your listener a slightly different impression and enriches your communication. Let's practice them. Repeat after me slowly. I'm quite keen on it. And again, I'm really into it. And one more. It really appeals to me. Excellent. Now, think about a hobby or a genre of music you enjoy. Which phrase would you use? Try it out loud. I'm really into jazz music. Or hiking really appeals to me. Notice the subtle difference in tone as you say them. Advanced fluency also involves softening your language to sound more polite and less direct, a common trait among native speakers. Instead of saying, "Your idea is wrong," you could say, "I see things a bit differently," or "I'm not sure that's the best approach." These small adjustments make your English sound more diplomatic and natural. Let's try them. I see things a bit differently. And now, I'm not sure that's the best approach. Wonderful. Imagine you're in a team meeting and a colleague proposes a plan you disagree with. By softening your response, you can contribute your opinion constructively without sounding confrontational. Another crucial skill is upgrading your transition words. Instead of relying on and, but, and so, you can use words like consequently, furthermore, in contrast, and meanwhile. These words connect your ideas with greater sophistication and show you can manage complex thoughts in English. Repeat after me. The company performed well, consequently, bonuses were high. And again, the book is insightful. Furthermore, it is beautifully written. And one more. I prefer coffee. In contrast, my sister prefers tea. Beautiful. These linking words will make your speech sound more structured and are incredibly useful in formal writing as well. Let's do a quick exercise. I'll give you two simple sentences, and you connect them with an advanced transition. Ready? The sentences are, it was raining heavily. The game was canceled. How would you connect them? You could say, it was raining heavily. As a result, the game was canceled. Try saying that with me. Good. That's how you train your mind to build more advanced sentence structures. A key part of sounding natural is using idiomatic expressions. Idioms breathe life into your English and bring you closer to how native speakers communicate. For example, instead of saying, it's very expensive, you could say it costs an arm and a leg. Instead of, let's start, you could say, let's get the ball rolling. Let's practice these. Repeat after me. That new phone costs an arm and a leg. And again, we have a lot to do, so let's get the ball rolling. Great. Now imagine a friend wants to start a new project. You could say, this is a great idea. Let's get the ball rolling. This will make your English sound dynamic and fluent. Practice it now. Say out loud, this is a great idea. Let's get the ball rolling. Feel how much more natural that sounds compared to just saying, let's start. Confidence is a cornerstone of fluency. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, speaking with conviction makes you sound more capable. A great way to build this confidence is by using starter phrases that give you a moment to gather your thoughts. For example, phrases like, well, as far as I'm concerned, or that's a fascinating question, or to put it another way. These phrases act as a bridge, buying you a few seconds to organize your response while keeping the conversation moving. Let's say them together. Well, as far as I'm concerned. And again, that's a fascinating question. And one more. To put it another way. Perfect. Let's try a quick practice. I'll ask you a question. What is the most important quality in a friend? Instead of answering directly, begin with one of those phrases. Perhaps you said, that's a fascinating question. I think the most important quality is honesty. Excellent. That's how you build fluency and poise at the same time. Let's expand our descriptive vocabulary even further. Many learners say very small, but an advanced speaker might use tiny, minuscule, or microscopic. Instead of very smart, you could say brilliant, genius, or astute. Each of these words adds a layer of depth and precision. Practice with me. The details in the painting were minuscule. And again, she came up with a brilliant solution to the problem. Excellent. Now create your own sentence using tiny or astute. Speak it out loud. That's how you move your vocabulary from basic to advanced. Another powerful technique for advanced fluency is incorporating storytelling into your speech. Storytelling helps you link ideas, describe events, and keep your listeners engaged. Even in a simple conversation, a short narrative makes you sound more interesting and confident. Let's try it. Instead of just saying, I went to the cafe, you can turn it into a mini story. The other day, I went to this new cafe downtown. I was hoping to try their famous cheesecake, but by the time I got there, they had already sold out. Do you hear how that's much more complete and engaging? Now practice with me. Repeat slowly. The other day, I went to this new cafe downtown. I was hoping to try their famous cheesecake, but by the time I got there, they had already sold out. Good. Now try to create your own short story about visiting a place, including a small detail or an unexpected outcome. Speak it out loud. The more you practice this, the more naturally fluent you will become. Adding emotion to your stories is the next step. Advanced speakers often use expressions that reveal how they felt. For instance, I was so disappointed, or I was pleasantly surprised, or I was completely amazed. These words add color and personality to your English. Let's practice with an example. I was so disappointed they were out of cheesecake, but I was pleasantly surprised by the delicious apple pie I tried instead. Repeat after me. I was so disappointed they were out of cheesecake, but I was pleasantly surprised by the delicious apple pie I tried instead. Excellent. Now try to make your own sentence using I was completely amazed. This practice helps you infuse your speech with emotion, a true sign of advanced fluency. Now, let's work on pronunciation and rhythm. Fluency isn't just about what you say, but how you say it. A great technique for this is shadowing, where you listen to a phrase and repeat it immediately, trying to match the rhythm, intonation, and speed. Let's do a shadowing exercise right now. I'll say a sentence and you repeat it right after me. Ready? I never would have guessed that was the answer. Again, I never would have guessed that was the answer. Excellent. Now let's try a longer one. I've been meaning to call you all week, but things have been incredibly hectic. Repeat after me. I've been meaning to call you all week, but things have been incredibly hectic. Wonderful. Continue shadowing with me as we go through this lesson, and you'll find your natural flow improving. Another advanced skill is paraphrasing. This means expressing the same idea in different words. For example, instead of saying, this task is difficult, you could say, this task is quite challenging, or I'm finding this task to be rather tricky. Paraphrasing demonstrates your flexibility with the language and makes your English sound more sophisticated. Let's practice. Repeat after me. This task is quite challenging. Now again. I'm finding this task to be rather tricky. Great. Now think of something you find difficult. Maybe a subject in school or a specific skill. Try to paraphrase it in at least 2 different ways. This is a fantastic way to train your mind to think flexibly in English. Next, let's focus on building longer sentences with advanced connectors. Instead of saying, I got home. I started cooking dinner, you could say, as soon as I got home, I immediately started cooking dinner since I was starving. Notice how the advanced version adds more detail and connects the actions logically. Repeat after me. As soon as I got home, I immediately started cooking dinner since I was starving. Excellent. Now create your own sentence about something you did yesterday, adding extra details and using connectors like since, after, or while. Speak it out loud. The more details you add, the more advanced your English will sound. Let's also practice advanced question forms. Beginners often ask short questions like, why did you do that? An advanced speaker might ask a more detailed and polite question like, could you walk me through your reasoning for that decision? Or, I was wondering what your thought process was behind that. Repeat with me. Could you walk me through your reasoning for that decision? And again, I was wondering what your thought process was behind that. Excellent. These longer, more indirect questions show a high level of comfort with the language. Here's a practice exercise. I'll give you a basic question and you upgrade it. Ready? The basic question is, what's your plan? How can you make that more advanced? You might say, could you share what you have in mind for the upcoming week? Or, What are your intentions for moving forward with this? Practice saying one of those out loud. That's how you train yourself to speak with more nuance and precision. Finally, let's touch on intonation, the music of your voice. Intonation can completely change the meaning of a word. Try this with me. Say the word right with a rising tone, as if asking a question. Right? Now say right with a falling, firm tone, as if you are confirming something. Right? Do you feel the difference? This is advanced fluency in action, communicating meaning beyond the words themselves. Now let's focus on a powerful technique for demonstrating fluency, expanding your answers. Many learners reply to questions with just a few words. Advanced speakers, however, provide details, context, and their own perspective. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like to read?" A basic answer is, "Yes, I do." But an advanced answer could be, "Absolutely." I especially enjoy historical fiction because it feels like traveling back in time. I just finished a fascinating book about ancient Rome. Do you see how much more engaging and complete that sounds? Let's practice this. I'll ask you a question. Do you like to read? First, give a short answer. Now try expanding it with details, genres, or feelings. Say your full answer out loud. Excellent. This is exactly how you train yourself to have richer, more meaningful conversations. Here's another example if someone asks, "What's your favorite season?" A short answer might be summer. An advanced answer could be, "I'd have to say summer." While some people find the heat overwhelming, I love the long, sunny days and the feeling of being able to spend more time outdoors. Do you hear the natural, fluent quality? Repeat with me. I'd have to say summer. While some people find the heat overwhelming, I love the long, sunny days and the feeling of being able to spend more time outdoors. Great. Now craft your own answer about your favorite season, adding details and your personal reasons. This is how you practice speaking more expansively. Let's also practice intonation patterns in longer sentences. English isn't flat, it has a natural rise and fall. Let's try this together. Repeat after me with an energetic tone. I had the most incredible time on my vacation last month. Now try this one with a more reflective, calm tone. It's been a long week and I'm looking forward to a quiet weekend. Perfect. Practicing with different emotions makes your English sound dynamic, not robotic. Now let's add some advanced vocabulary for sharing opinions. Instead of just saying, "I think it's interesting," you could say, "From my perspective, it's quite compelling," or "I find it to be rather thought provoking." Instead of "I don't agree," you could say, "I have a slightly different take on that," or "I'm not entirely convinced that's the case." These phrases are polite, sophisticated, and advanced. Let's say them together slowly. From my perspective, it's quite compelling. And again, I find it to be rather thought provoking. Now let's practice the others. I have a slightly different take on that. And one more. I'm not entirely convinced that's the case. Excellent. Now imagine you're discussing a recent news story. Practice using one of these advanced expressions to share your viewpoint. Let's do a short dialogue practice. I'll say a line, and you respond out loud with one of those advanced phrases. Ready, I'll say, that new policy seems like a great idea. You could respond, from my perspective, it's quite compelling. Or perhaps, I'm not entirely convinced that's the case. Wonderful. Practicing like this prepares you to respond quickly and thoughtfully in real conversations. Now, let's work on advanced vocabulary for daily activities. For example, instead of saying, I have to do chores, you could say, I need to tackle some household chores. Instead of, I was very busy, you could say, my schedule was absolutely packed. Instead of, I relaxed, you might say, I took some time to unwind. These small upgrades make your English sound more natural. Practice with me. I need to tackle some household chores. Again, my schedule was absolutely packed today. One more. I took some time to unwind this evening. Good. Now think about your own day and try upgrading one sentence with this kind of vocabulary. Say it out loud. That's how you build fluency in small, manageable steps. Another advanced skill is showing agreement or disagreement politely. Instead of just, I agree, you can say, you're absolutely right, or I feel the same way. Instead of, I disagree, you can say, I can see where you're coming from, but, or, I'm not so sure about that. These expressions facilitate smoother, more respectful conversations. Repeat with me. You're absolutely right. Again, I feel the same way. Now let's try the disagreement phrases. I can see where you're coming from, but, and one more. I'm not so sure about that. Excellent. Here's a quick practice. I'll make a statement. Technology always makes life better. You could respond, I feel the same way. Or, I'm not so sure about that. I think it has downsides too. Say your response out loud. Perfect. That's how you practice advanced conversational skills. Now let's turn to phrases for giving advice. Beginners often say, you should. Advanced speakers use softer phrases like, have you thought about? Or, it might be helpful to. Or, my advice would be to. These make your suggestions sound more like friendly recommendations. Say them with me. Have you thought about trying a new study method? Again, it might be helpful to watch movies with subtitles. One more. My advice would be to practice speaking a little bit every day. Wonderful. Now try giving advice to a friend who wants to be healthier. Say it out loud using one of these advanced phrases. An important part of advanced fluency is expressing possibilities and speculation. Instead of always saying, maybe, you can use phrases like, it's conceivable that, or there's a fair chance that, or I imagine that. These expressions show more nuance. Let's practice. Repeat after me. It's conceivable that the meeting will be postponed. Again, there's a fair chance that she'll get the promotion. One more. I imagine that the weather will be lovely this weekend. Excellent. Now imagine you are talking about a future event. Practice one of these phrases out loud in your own sentence. Let's talk about expressing preferences in an advanced way. Instead of just, I prefer, you can use phrases like, I'm more inclined to, or I tend to favor, or given the choice, I'd go with. These make your English sound more refined. Say them slowly with me. I'm more inclined to work from home. Again, I tend to favor classic literature over modern novels. And one more. Given the choice, I'd go with the blue one. Good. Now try to express your own preference, maybe about movies, travel, or work styles. Speak it out loud. Advanced speakers also use hesitation fillers naturally to keep conversations flowing while they think. Instead of awkward silence, they might say things like, well, let's see, or that's a good point, or how can I put this? These little phrases give you time to organize your thoughts. Practice with me. Well, let's see. I think the best option is, and again, that's a good point. I hadn't considered that angle. Good. Now imagine someone asks you a difficult question. Before you answer, start with one of these hesitation phrases to sound more fluent and confident. Now let's practice expressing certainty and doubt. For certainty, you can say, I'm positive that, or without a shadow of a doubt. For doubt, you could say, I'm a bit skeptical about, or I have my reservations. These are great for discussions and debates. Let's say the certainty phrases. I'm positive that he'll do a great job. And again, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the right decision. Excellent. Now let's try the doubt phrases. I'm a bit skeptical about that claim. And again, I have my reservations about the new plan. Great. Let's do a quick exercise. I'll make a statement. The new project will be finished ahead of schedule. You could respond with, I'm positive that it will, or I have my reservations about that timeline. Now you try. Say your response out loud. Let's move to advanced time expressions. Instead of, I will do it soon, you could say, I'll get to it in a little while, or I'll do it first thing tomorrow. These small upgrades make your English sound more specific and natural. Repeat after me. I'll get to it in a little while. And again. I'll call you back first thing tomorrow. Great. Now create your own sentence about when you will complete a task using one of these expressions. Another skill is expressing cause and effect. Beginners often use because. Advanced speakers use phrases like, this is largely due to, or this led to, or the outcome was a consequence of. These add variety and demonstrate strong fluency. Say them with me. The project's success was largely due to team collaboration. Again, his lack of preparation led to a poor performance. One more. The delay was a consequence of unforeseen circumstances. Perfect. Now create your own cause and effect sentence using one of these phrases. Speak it out loud now. Finally, let's look at expressing contrast. Instead of always saying but, you can use although, even though, whereas, or on the contrary. These make your English sound more sophisticated. Practice with me. Although the work was difficult, it was also very rewarding. Again, he enjoys city life, whereas I prefer the countryside. Excellent. Now make your own sentence with although or whereas. Say it out loud. Let's move into another important area, expressing degrees of certainty about the future. Instead of always saying, maybe it will happen, you can use expressions like, it's highly likely that, or there's a distinct possibility that, or even I wouldn't be surprised if. These sound more natural. Practice with me. It's highly likely that the team will win. Again, there's a distinct possibility that plans will change. One more. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the job. Excellent. Now, imagine you're talking about a future event, like a sports game or a friend's success. Try making your own sentence with one of these phrases. Another skill is expressing conditions with advanced structures. A beginner might say, "If you need help, call me." An advanced speaker might say, "Should you need any help, don't hesitate to call." Or, "Were you to need assistance, I'm here for you." These variations sound more formal and fluent. Say them with me. "Should you need any help, don't hesitate to call." And again, "Were you to need assistance, I'm here for you." Good. Now create your own conditional sentence using should or were you to. This will help you sound more advanced. Now let's practice speculating about the past. Instead of just maybe he was sick, advanced speakers use he might have been sick, or he could have been stuck in traffic, or he must have forgotten. These modal verbs show strong fluency. Repeat after me. He might have been sick yesterday. Again, she could have taken the wrong turn. One more. They must have been thrilled with the results. Perfect. Now think of a situation from the past and speculate about it using might have, could have, or must have. Say it out loud. Advanced English also includes polite requests. Instead of, "Can you help me?" you can say, "I was wondering if you could help me," or "Would you be able to lend me a hand?" These polite forms are very natural. Say them with me. "I was wondering if you could help me." And again, "Would you be able to lend me a hand?" Excellent. Now imagine you need help from a colleague. Try making a polite request out loud. Let's practice reporting speech. Beginners say, "She said, I will be there." Advanced speakers use indirect speech like, "She said that she would be there," or "She informed me that she would be present." These structures sound smoother. Practice with me. He mentioned that he was feeling unwell. Again, she confirmed that the meeting was at 10. Now create your own indirect speech sentence. For example, imagine a friend told you their travel plans. How would you report it? Say it now. Let's expand vocabulary for expressing surprise. Instead of only "I was surprised," you can say "I was taken aback," "I was astounded," or "It left me speechless." Repeat after me. "I was taken aback by his sudden decision." Again, "I was astounded by the performance." One more. "The news left me speechless." Excellent. Now practice by making your own sentence about something that surprised you. Another area is expressing regret or relief. For regret, instead of "I regret it," you can say, "If only I had known," or "I really should have." For relief, you might say, "That's a weight off my mind," or "Thank goodness." Let's practice. "If only I'd known about the traffic." And again, "I really should have prepared more." Now for relief, "That's a weight off my mind." And again, "Thank goodness everyone is safe." Great. Now try creating your own regret and relief sentences out loud. Finally, let's work on expressing opinions in discussions. Instead of always saying, "I think," advanced speakers use "from my point of view," or "as far as I can tell," or "it seems to me that." These sound polite and thoughtful. Repeat with me. "From my point of view, this is a positive development." Again, "as far as I can tell, the plan is working." One more. "It seems to me that we need more time." Excellent. Now think of your own opinion about a current event and express it with one of these phrases. Let's move into expressing agreement in different ways. Instead of I agree, you can use powerful alternatives like I couldn't agree more. You took the words right out of my mouth, or that's spot on. These sound very natural. Say them with me. I couldn't agree more. Again, you took the words right out of my mouth. One more. That's spot on. Excellent. Now imagine a friend says, consistency is the most important part of learning. How would you respond? Try saying, that's spot on. Speak it out loud. Next, let's practice expressing disagreement politely. Instead of you're wrong, advanced speakers say things like, I see your point, but have you considered a or I'm not sure I see it that way, or I beg to differ. These keep the conversation respectful. Repeat after me. I see your point, but have you considered the alternative? Again, I'm not sure I see it that way. One more. I beg to differ on that point. Great. Now imagine someone says, watching TV is a waste of time. You can respond with one of these polite disagreement phrases. Try it out loud. Let's practice expressing excitement. Instead of I'm excited, you can say I'm really looking forward to it, or I'm buzzing with excitement, or I can hardly wait. These expressions bring more energy. Say them with me. I'm really looking forward to the trip. Again, I'm buzzing with excitement about the concert. And one more. I can hardly wait for the holidays to start. Excellent. Now imagine you have a fun event coming up. Express your excitement out loud. Another area is making suggestions. Beginners often say, let's. Advanced speakers say, what if we? Or I propose that we. Or how does this sound? These are softer and more collaborative. Practice with me. What if we try a different approach? Again, I propose that we meet again next week. One more. How does this sound? We finish this part first, then take a break. Great. Now think of your own suggestion for a group project. Say it out loud using one of these advanced forms. Now let's practice giving opinions with emphasis. Sometimes you want to be strong. Instead of just I think, you can say, I'm firmly of the opinion that, or I'm wholeheartedly convinced that, or there's no question in my mind that. Say them with me. I'm firmly of the opinion that honesty is the best policy. Again, I'm wholeheartedly convinced that hard work pays off. And one more. There's no question in my mind that she is the right person for the job. Excellent. Now practice by creating your own strong opinion about a topic you care about. Let's improve how we describe frequency. Instead of always or sometimes, advanced speakers say invariably, on a regular basis, every so often, or once in a blue moon. Repeat with me. He invariably arrives early for meetings. Again, I try to exercise on a regular basis. One more. Every so often I treat myself to a nice dinner. Excellent. Now think of your own habit and describe it using one of these expressions. Let's also work on describing contrasts. Instead of I'm tired but I have to work, you can say, despite being tired, I have to finish my work. Or, even though I'm exhausted, the deadline must be met. These structures are advanced and smooth. Say them with me. Despite being tired, I have to finish my work. Again, even though I'm exhausted, the deadline must be met. Great. Now make your own sentence using even though or despite. Speak it aloud. Finally, let's practice phrases for keeping a conversation going. Advanced speakers use lines like, speaking of which, that reminds me, or interestingly enough, or on a completely different note. These keep the conversation flowing. Practice with me. Speaking of which, have you seen that new documentary? Again. Interestingly enough, I was just reading about that. Excellent. Imagine you're chatting with a friend. Try using one of these phrases to transition to a new topic. Now let's turn to advanced vocabulary for describing change. Instead of things got better, you can say, there was a significant improvement, or the situation took a positive turn. These expressions sound more sophisticated. Say them with me. There was a significant improvement in his performance. Again, the situation took a positive turn after the meeting. Excellent. Now think of a change and describe it with one of these phrases. Another useful area is expressing cause with nuance. Instead of only because, you can use on the grounds that or in light of the fact that. These are advanced and often used in formal English. Practice with me. The case was dismissed on the grounds that there was no evidence. Again, in light of the fact that we are behind schedule, we need to work overtime. Wonderful. Now practice with your own example. Let's practice expressing contrast in more advanced ways. You can use conversely, whereas, or while. For example, some people thrive in a busy office. Conversely, others work better from home. Or, while I appreciate your point, I don't fully agree. Say them with me. Some people thrive in a busy office. Conversely, others work better from home. Again, while I appreciate your point, I don't fully agree. Great. Now make your own sentence comparing two different ideas. Let's move into phrases for advanced conversation fillers. Native speakers often use phrases like at the end of the day, or when all is said and done, or to be perfectly honest. These add natural rhythm. Repeat after me. At the end of the day, it's about doing your best. Again, when all is said and done, family is what matters most. One more. To be perfectly honest, I think we can do better. Excellent. Now create your own filler phrase about life or learning. Another useful area is advanced vocabulary for describing effort. Instead of it's hard, you can say it's quite demanding or it's a formidable challenge. Instead of it's easy, you could say it's a breeze or it's pretty straightforward. Say them with me. This project is quite demanding. Again, for her, public speaking is a breeze. Excellent. Now think of a task and describe it using one of these advanced words. Let's practice describing habits in advanced ways. Instead of I always, you can say I make it a point to, or it's second nature to me to. These sound polished. Say them with me. I make it a point to read the news every morning. Again, it's second nature to me to double-check my work. Great. Now describe one of your own habits using one of these expressions. Now let's focus on phrases for expressing expectations. Instead of I expect, advanced speakers say, my assumption is that, or I was under the impression that. These show subtle meaning. Repeat after me. My assumption is that the report is due on Friday. Again, I was under the impression that the meeting was canceled. Excellent. Now practice with your own sentence about a plan or goal you had. Finally, let's do some shadowing practice with a longer paragraph. Listen and repeat as closely as you can. Ready? Over the last few months, I've made it a point to immerse myself in English as much as possible. Initially, it was a formidable challenge, but it has gradually become second nature. Now, at the end of the day, I genuinely enjoy the process, whether it's through listening to podcasts or having conversations. Now, let's try again, repeating together more smoothly. Over the last few months, I've made it a point to immerse myself in English as much as possible. Initially, it was a formidable challenge, but it has gradually become second nature. Now, at the end of the day, I genuinely enjoy the process. Whether it's through listening to podcasts or having conversations, perfect. This kind of extended shadowing practice helps you build rhythm and confidence. Let's focus on advanced expressions for giving reasons. Beginners often just say, because. Advanced speakers use phrases like, my reasoning is that, or this stems from the fact that. These make your explanations sound thoughtful. Practice with me. My reasoning is that consistent practice builds muscle memory. Again, this stems from the fact that exposure to a language is crucial for learning. Excellent. Now create your own explanation for why you study English using one of these phrases. Another key area is expressing probability in the present. Instead of, maybe he is busy, advanced speakers say, he's most likely busy, or the odds are he's in a meeting. These are subtle upgrades. Say them with me. He's most likely busy right now. Again, the odds are he's in a meeting. Excellent. Now practice with your own idea about what a friend might be doing right now. Let's also work on phrases for emphasizing your ideas. Instead of, it's very important, you can say, it's of the utmost importance, or it's absolutely critical. These words give more strength. Say them with me. It's of the utmost importance to be prepared. Again, it's absolutely critical that we meet the deadline. Excellent. Now, create your own sentence about learning English using one of these advanced emphasis phrases. Now let's practice expressing likes and dislikes with nuance. Instead of, I like it, you can say, I have a real passion for it, or I'm a big fan of it. Instead of, I don't like it, you can say, it's not really my cup of tea. Repeat after me. I have a real passion for creative writing. Again, I'm a big fan of classic films. Now the dislike phrase, horror movies are not really my cup of tea. Great. Now, practice with your own likes and dislikes using these phrases. Another area is expressing certainty about the past. Instead of, I know he did it, you could say, he must have done it, or there's no doubt in my mind he was responsible. These expressions sound advanced. Say them with me. She must have left her keys at the office. Again, there's no doubt in my mind they won the match. Perfect. Now make your own sentence about something that definitely happened in the past. Let's practice expressing possibility in the future. Instead of, maybe I will go, you can say, I'm contemplating going, or there is a slight chance I will go. These make your English more flexible. Repeat after me. I'm contemplating traveling next year. Again, There is a slight chance the event will be rescheduled. Excellent. Now practice with your own plan or dream for the future. Finally, let's do another shadowing exercise. Repeat after me. Last night, I went out for dinner with some old friends. We had a fantastic time catching up and reminiscing about our school days. Even though we don't see each other often, it feels like no time has passed when we get together. Again, more smoothly. Last night, I went out for dinner with some old friends. We had a fantastic time catching up and reminiscing about our school days. Even though we don't see each other often, it feels like no time has passed when we get together. Perfect. This kind of shadowing helps you train your voice and rhythm. Let's practice advanced ways of expressing uncertainty. Instead of, I don't know, you can say, it's difficult to say for sure, or your guess is as good as mine. These sound natural and polite. Say them with me. It's difficult to say for sure. Again, your guess is as good as mine. Excellent. Now imagine someone asks you a question with no clear answer. Respond out loud with one of these phrases. Another area is making polite offers. Instead of I can help, you can say, allow me to assist you with that, or let me know if I can be of any help. These sound warm and professional. Practice with me. Allow me to assist you with that. Again, let me know if I can be of any help. Excellent. Now imagine a colleague is struggling with a task. Practice offering help politely. Let's move to expressing opinions politely. A beginner might say, that's a bad idea. An advanced speaker says, I have some reservations about that idea. Or, I wonder if there's another way to look at this. Repeat after me. I have some reservations about that idea. Again, I wonder if there's another way to look at this. Great. Now create your own polite opinion sentence. Let's also work on phrases for showing surprise and disbelief. Instead of just, wow, you can say, I can't believe it. Or, you're pulling my leg. Or, that's mind-blowing. Say them with me. I can't believe it. Again, you're pulling my leg. One more. That's mind-blowing. Excellent. Now imagine a friend tells you some incredible news. React out loud. Another important area is expressing purpose. Instead of, I did this to get that, you can say, I did this for the purpose of getting that. Or, I did this with the intention of. Practice with me. I'm studying with the intention of passing my exams. Again, we organize the event for the purpose of raising awareness. Great. Now make your own purpose sentence about practicing English. Let's practice agreeing conditionally. You can say, I agree up to a point, or that's true to a certain extent. Say them with me. I agree up to a point. Again, that's true to a certain extent. Excellent. Imagine someone says, all technology is good. Respond with one of these conditional phrases. Another area is making comparisons. Instead of this is better, you can say this is far superior, or this is leagues ahead of the other option. These expressions are precise and fluent. Say them with me. This new software is far superior. Again, her performance was leagues ahead of everyone else's. Excellent. Now, make your own comparison sentence about two things you know. Finally, let's do another shadowing exercise. Repeat after me. Yesterday, I was feeling completely drained after a long week, but a friend convinced me to go for a hike. It turned out to be exactly what I needed. The fresh air was invigorating, and I felt so much better afterward. Let's try again smoothly. Yesterday, I was feeling completely drained after a long week, but a friend convinced me to go for a hike. It turned out to be exactly what I needed. The fresh air was invigorating, and I felt so much better afterward. Perfect. Practicing longer sentences like this will make your fluency flow. Let's focus on expressing confidence about the future. Instead of I'm sure, you can say I'm thoroughly convinced or I have every confidence that. Say them with me. I'm thoroughly convinced this plan will work. Again, I have every confidence that you will succeed. Excellent. Now, practice with your own example about your English learning. Next, let's practice advanced expressions for regret. You can say, in hindsight, I should have. Or, if I could turn back time, I would have. Repeat after me. In hindsight, I should have started sooner. Again, if I could turn back time, I would have chosen a different path. Excellent. Now create your own regret sentence out loud. Another area showing appreciation politely. You can say, I'm so grateful for your help, or I don't know how to thank you. Say them with me. I'm so grateful for your help. Again, I don't know how to thank you. Great. Now imagine someone did you a huge favor. Say one of these sentences out loud. Let's work on making complaints politely. Instead of, this is wrong, you can say, there seems to be a misunderstanding, or I was under the impression that. Repeat after me. There seems to be a misunderstanding about the invoice. Again, I was under the impression that this was included in the price. Excellent. Imagine you received the wrong item in an order. Make a polite complaint. Now let's practice giving compliments. Instead of good job, you can say, that was an exceptional piece of work. Or, you've really outdone yourself. Say them with me. That was an exceptional piece of work. Again, you've really outdone yourself? Great. Now imagine a friend gave a great presentation. Give them one of these compliments out loud. Another area is expressing advanced agreement. You can say, we see eye to eye on this, or that's precisely my thinking. Repeat after me. We see eye to eye on this. Again, that's precisely my thinking. Excellent. Imagine someone shares an opinion that you completely agree with. Respond with one of these phrases. Let's move to giving reasons in debates. You can say, the crux of the matter is, or what this all boils down to is, say them with me. The crux of the matter is effective communication. Again, what this all boils down to is a lack of resources. Excellent. Give your own reason about why practice is important using one of these phrases. Finally, let's do another shadowing practice. Repeat after me. Over the past year, I've come to realize that fluency is not about perfection. It's about effective communication and having the confidence to express your ideas. At the end of the day, that's what truly matters in any language. Again, smoothly. Over the past year, I've come to realize that fluency is not about perfection. It's about effective communication and having the confidence to express your ideas. At the end of the day, that's what truly matters in any language. Wonderful. Practicing whole thoughts like this will help you sound confident. Let's practice advanced expressions for giving advice. You can say, it might be in your best interest to, or my recommendation would be to. Say them with me. It might be in your best interest to reconsider. Again, my recommendation would be to focus on one thing at a time. Excellent. Think of advice for a new learner and say it out loud. Next, let's work on expressing satisfaction and dissatisfaction. For satisfaction, say, I couldn't be happier with the result. For dissatisfaction, say, this is not what I had in mind. Practice with me. I couldn't be happier with the result. And now, this is not what I had in mind. Excellent. Now try making your own sentences out loud. Let's add expressions for emphasizing importance. You can say, it's an indispensable part of the process, or it cannot be overstated how important this is. Say them with me. It's an indispensable part of the process. Again, it cannot be overstated how important consistency is. Excellent. Practice with your own example about English learning. Let's now look at advanced phrases for persuasion. You can say, I urge you to consider, or you won't regret giving it a try. Repeat after me. I urge you to consider this opportunity. Again, you won't regret giving it a try. Excellent. Imagine you are convincing the friend to try something new. Say one of these phrases out loud. Now let's practice expressions for describing improvement. You can say, there's been a noticeable improvement, or I've seen a dramatic increase in my skills. Say them with me. There's been a noticeable improvement in my confidence. Again, I've seen a dramatic increase in my vocabulary. Wonderful. Now practice your own progress sentence about English out loud. Another skill is expressing possibility and impossibility. For possibility, say, it's well within the realm of possibility. For impossibility, say, that's simply not feasible. Practice with me. Reaching fluency is well within the realm of possibility. Now the impossibility phrase. Finishing this by tomorrow is simply not feasible. Excellent. Now make your own sentence. Let's end this masterclass with a final shadowing exercise that combines many of the expressions we've practiced. Repeat after me. Over time, I've truly come a long way on my English journey. I wholeheartedly believe that daily practice is indispensable, and I'm convinced that consistency is crucial. Even though it can be demanding at times, achieving fluency is well within the realm of possibility if you remain dedicated. When all is said and done, confidence and communication are what matter most. Now let's do it again smoothly. Over time, I've truly come a long way on my English journey. I wholeheartedly believe that daily practice is indispensable, and I'm convinced that consistency is crucial. Even though it can be demanding at times, achieving fluency is well within the realm of possibility if you remain dedicated. When all is said and done, confidence and communication are what matter most. Wonderful. And before we finish, I want to leave you with this thought. Every word you practice, every conversation you have, and every exercise you complete is a step forward on your path to fluency. So please keep going. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and keep believing in your ability to grow. You are more than capable of reaching an advanced level, and I will be here to guide you in every moment. Thank you for joining me, Elena, in this advanced English fluency workshop here on English in Moments. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our future videos. To support the channel, a like on this video and sharing it with friends would mean the world. Keep practicing, stay confident, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.